Are you a fan of horror movies?
Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead.
What about cult classics?
Your move, creep.
If you are, you'll love Shocking Things. Please search for us on all the major podcasting platforms. To see our social media and a direct link to our podcast, please go to anchor.fm/shockingthings.
All right, everybody, this is the Peter Easy Podcast. It's the Professor, Rick Del Sando, joining me again. Today is Showtime. Marcel Williams, we're going to be talking about NXT Takeover 36, and it's the end of an era. Marcel, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, my man. Like you said, clearly, is the end of the era. We'll go in detail about the show going ahead, the way they ended to close the chapter of the NXT that we love, that we thought is a way different brand in a whole brand of WWE is like the single brand over here that entertained us the most. So as we go along with this show, we got to entertain ourselves.
There's a couple surprises, I think. Well, to me, definitely, but we'll definitely bring that up. Some predictions, and overall, I do have to say it was a pretty decent show. I enjoyed it for the most part. But like I said, the end of an era, because they're going to be shifting in a whole different directions. They're going to be trying to, they're going back to the old OVW style, is the rumor at least, where they're going to want to create the big stars, the Cenas, the Lesnars, the Ortons, all those guys that were there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I heard it today from Nick Khan, the interview that he did earlier. He's just going to revamp the whole NXT brand, and he just want to take all that we enjoyed, and also you enjoyed that. He want to take all that and just throw it away, and just be like, okay, well, this is the new era. Do we go make it nice and fresh again, and try to make future stars, legit future stars, going forward? Just like you said, nice education. OVW, you know what I'm saying, with John Cena and Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar around that time, where they were developing the superstars that we know and love now. So, yeah, dude. I mean, hopefully it's good. I mean, I feel like NXT was a good competition for AEW. It was making wrestling great again. You know what I'm saying? Instead of relying on Raw and SmackDown, you have something that you can enjoy, which you enjoyed for the last 7 years, 5-7 years.
probably something around that. It was a brand basically owned by WWE for fans of groups like Ring of Honor and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and Progress from England, like those kind of like indie style, Evolve, stuff like that. But so they're just going to be straight. What my personal opinion is, they don't need a third Raw or SmackDown. They don't need it because those two shows have the same formula, and you don't need a show like a third brand with that same formula. The fact that it was just something geared towards those other brands, like those independents that I mentioned, made it more unique being on cable television, and it was kind of a different fan base. It had a mind of its own and a fan base of its own, and I enjoyed it more than watching Raw and SmackDown.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, let's just be real about it. The biggest milestone for NXT was the first outside takeover at the Barclays Center. You know what I'm saying? That was the wake up call of how NXT really was popular throughout not only domestic but throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? They sold out the Barclays Center. They had 15,000 people to come watch a developmental brand at the time. And I feel bad for Triple H for putting all the work in. Not only him, but he had Michael Hayes and all these guys under him that knew all the past territories of how this worked. And without the Vince McMahon umbrella, and then dude, I mean, it's good times, made good stars, but it's a transitional time for WWE right now. And by looking at the Nick Khan interview, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Vince must like him somehow. So I mean, he must be doing some type of moves for him to still be there and release all the
Right.
people that he released and make the moves that he's doing, especially revamping a whole third brand that was way popular than two of the main brands, which is SmackDown and Raw.
What's the where's that interview located? You know, mind me asking.
It's actually on YouTube. It was done by I'd probably get the name later, but it's a full interview, 38-minute interview where he's talking about how he got hired and believe it or not, because everybody knows, I don't know if anybody knows or not, when WWE hire people, they don't hire wrestling fans. He always been a wrestling fan. He was
Right.
actually a usher at WrestleMania 9. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So he has a history of being a wrestling fan, so he knows his stuff, but obviously he knows something that we may not know that may save the company money, that may make it better throughout the future. And, you know, if Vince, you know, he's 70 plus years old, obviously he put his faith into him, you know, instead of putting faith into, let's say, Triple H. Triple H, his mindset through NXT, Triple H, you would think that he was the next guy to run the company. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know. Things change.
It was
People say that it happened AEW beating them, you know? So, you know, what you think, Rick?
I did see what's it, like a clip, not a clip, a quote rather. That's the word I was looking for. Of Nick Khan. Basically, he didn't really necessarily fully admit that the company was for sale, but he said that they're open for business, but they're not actively seeking. But there's going to be a lot of changes. So basically, my guess is that they are prepping to get, you know, for a sale in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And but they've let go some of their biggest stars, or the guys that were like paid the most on the roster. I don't really know how over Braun Strowman really was, but I know that he was making a whole hell of a lot of money. They used him a whole lot, and then suddenly one day he was just fired. Same thing with the Fiend. He was used so much, and he was one of the most over characters for a very long time, for what, 2 years probably, and then boom, he's fired. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild to think that they're just, you know, anybody's open to get fired, no matter how much money you make, or no matter how much money you're making for that company. That's the other thing.
And also, it doesn't matter what storyline you're in either. They'll, you know, look at Aleister Black. He was doing a storyline with Biggie one day, and then all of a sudden he's released on I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
And following Tuesday. Yeah. So it's like it just doesn't matter what storyline you in. It doesn't matter how important you are. Now, don't get me wrong, WWE has been full of talent for the last few years. They've been racking up talent almost every week, every month, you know, during the tryouts and everything. But and I fully understand what Vince probably said to Triple H or said to whoever. You do have to make stars. Let's look back at all the NXT, and I blame the writers. NXT made whoever went to the main roster as popular, as hot, white hot, and then all of a sudden they go to the main roster. The main roster, you know, the creative didn't know what to do with them. So actually, NXT made them stars to go on there to be stars, and then all of a sudden the main roster like, well, you know what? Guess what? They're not stars to us, so we just gonna place them here, change their whole gimmick. So you know, it's just I don't understand Vince psychology. Maybe it's the old psychology right now where he only wants people that was built just like the 80s, just like the 90s.
They don't have stars that are bigger than the company. That's the thing. They're not it doesn't seem like they're able to create stars in the wrestling industry, but they're not able to create the Hogans, the Cenas, the Rocks, the Austins. And that's the weird part. I think that they're trying with certain people, and you can see it, but it's just not coming out the way that they're expecting it.
But you said it right, though. And I thought about it earlier before I talked to you. I think I was looking at something where I was listening to Solomon's podcast, and one of and he's like, oh well, he's like, well, there's haven't been a star made since John Cena. When John Cena is a legit last star of WWE because look at him now, he's a movie star.
Yes.
So WWE can't use him no more like they used to. He's a part-time player, just like The Rock was when John Cena was a regular player, and now Austin and all these people.
Uh-huh.
It's truthfully about now when it was back in the day when it was called Hulk Hogan and WWF is coming to town, or
Right.
Austin WWF coming to town. Now it's legit just WWE's coming to town. It doesn't even matter. You say whoever is coming.
It's like the circus coming to town. It's just like there's no name build above that, like the Hogans, the Cenas, the Austins. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get your point there. But tonight was I might have missed the last takeover, but this was the first NXT show I've watched in quite a while. But I had planned on it because there is the big change coming soon. And so I thought it was a pretty decent show. You want to start getting into the matches?
Yeah, indeed. You can tell me what the matches was too, because it's been a while since I watched it as well. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. Ever since AEW came in fruition, I have kind of like watched back and forth. But I watched AEW, but I've been watching in and out with NXT. But I always take the time to watch takeover shows because their takeover shows always been the best part of the weekend. So this takeover is real good. It was good. It was a good send off for what they have going forward in the future. But I really enjoyed it, especially one of the few matches that we gonna talk about in a minute.
Yeah, I think the last three I thought were the show was basically centered around those three matches. Like as being in each match felt like it was going in the big fight feel that they talk about. You know what I mean? Those three matches. So, did you watch the pre-show?
No, I did not watch the pre-show.
That's all right.
Did you?
That's all right. Yeah, I did. The funny part of this, Trey Baxter, formerly Blake Christian, who worked like New Japan and I think he worked like GCW and stuff like that. He lost to Ridge Holland. I actually didn't recognize Trey Baxter or Blake Christian, whatever you want to call him these days. It was funny because he had just like WWE. He looked WWE always changes your appearance and in your look and your name. So it's like it had been like probably a year since him and Christian Casanova signed probably like the same week, probably if that. So it's like I just remember when both of them got signed, I was like, oh man, that's really good for them and hope they do well. I really had no idea who he was coming out. And I was like, I really had to look it up because I was confused. Like it's like because his appearance is like different.
And not only that, Rich Holland. I'm glad that you said that because Rich Holland he was in line for a push, and then he got in like out of nowhere. Like he just like that just messed up the whole push of the War Games basically between them and the Undisputed Era. So yeah, I was glad to see him. Glad to hear him back. I heard he came back the last NXT show that was last Tuesday.
I don't want to call it necessarily a squash, but it was like probably like a 4-minute match where they took out he took him out. He was like it seemed like Baxter was trying to get in there, but he really wasn't that couldn't get too much offense in.
Yeah.
Other than
it just set up Rich. Just set him up.
Yeah, exactly. It was a setup match.
To continue what they was going with, when he left,
Yeah, he's getting his push. And then they opened up with, it was a pretty good opening for the main card. I always like before I get into it, I really do like the pre-shows because I think they're kind of cool with like the panels and stuff like that where they break things down. Like it's like you're watching football, baseball, where they do that pre-show or the pre-show, whatever. So it really gives that really big sport feel to me, and it's just cool. And I always think that it's really great that they always put a pretty quick match on the pre-show like this.
I fully agree. It takes you back to like the old days of free for all. If you remember those free for all,
which they did. they did those for a while, and then they stopped doing them for like however many years, you know. But it's cool because they do this. You can watch this for free, basically, and then they try to convince you to pay for the subscription. So
Yeah, it's just and plus somebody like me or you, where we haven't been watching NXT like that, they educate us and let us know what's going to happen when Takeover comes on. So I really enjoyed the show because you could just go into the regular show, you don't know what's going on, and you got to worry about the 60-second or 90-second promo they got before the match. So I really like the pre-shows where they really educate you on what's going on with not only NXT events but even SummerSlam. If you watch SummerSlam, they was like, oh well, we're gonna educate you on these matches going forward and why you should anticipate for them. What I mean, if you want to talk about later, one of the matches that they really advertised,
for
and
which one? For SummerSlam?
yeah, but I was gonna keep it at that. They advertised to the last minute and still did it, and then yeah, but
Which one?
we'll talk about it later if you want.
Yeah, we can get into it. I'm trying to figure out which one.
The Sasha Banks versus Belair match.
Let me
Okay,
tell
there
you
we go.
something. I was pissed off. I'm going to tell you something. All right, because I ran out to go get my son. Right, so I had it on my phone and I had it plugged in, listening to it in the car. And then I heard freaking all the change and all the stuff, and then Becky Lynch, and they squashed Bianca Belair. This is a girl that worked her ass off to get there, and was in a historic main event, at WrestleMania this year, which was really awesome.
Mhm.
She was squashed in a matter of seconds. I
They
cannot
gave
tell
her
you
the
how much. Yeah, this
they gave
pissed
her
me
the
off.
Kofi drink. Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
did.
was bullshit. It was complete. I mean, literally, I was driving down the road when I heard the end of the match. I yelled out, "What the?"
Yeah.
So because I was like, I could not believe that they did that to her. Like, it was it was insulting because I think that she is a great performer, and she worked hard. In that the whole match with her in the Royal Rumble was very emotional at the end, and the where she got the title shot and she won the title at WrestleMania. It was just a really awesome moment, and then just to have her squash this, and then a lot of times people don't come back from this. You know what I mean? From that squash. How long did it take Kofi? It's like it's been well over a year, or almost two
Yeah.
years now, if I think about it, right?
Yeah, they squashed Kofi, whatever seconds they did, and he never
Yep.
asked for the rematch ever again. He went back to the tag team division. He acted like he never had a WWE title ring. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this right here, I mean, I love when the people say, sit back and wait and see. I fully understand it. I'm not against what wrestling is going to keep going to the day that me and you, God forbid, pass away. But it's just the fact is that you don't build somebody like that and squash them within seconds. Like it's
Right.
understandable that you do that too, and I mean, history
Well,
is history never changes. You got Hulky Talk Man. He had the Intercontinental Championship for like 16
he was
months,
the
and
longest
then
reign. Yeah, the longest reigning
he
Intercontinental Champion.
squash him in seconds with the Ultimate Warrior. Okay, we get that. That was Ultimate Warrior. But two of these ladies know how to wrestle. They know how to perform. You could have got at least 5 or 6 minutes out of it because truthfully, a story being told, Belair didn't even know who her opponent was. She really thought she was going to the ring to face Sasha.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it made sense if the match would have lasted at least 5 or 6 minutes, but 27 seconds, nah, that's no excuse.
The other thing that really pissed me off was it's been a year and a half. Becky Lynch comes back. She relinquished the title on TV and gave it to Asuka that year and a half ago. And then today, she's put in a title match when she just comes out of nowhere, which I thought that was, she doesn't have to earn the title shot, which is complete horseshit, in my personal opinion, and, well, my expert opinion. I'll just say that, you know. Um, so I just think it was just ridiculous.
I
It
know.
was
I mean,
ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, I know we're talking about Takeover, but it was like that just irked my nerves. I was like, really? Like, we really doing that? Like, and then what? I mean, the 27-second thing that pissed me off. But for y'all to keep advertising this match is gonna happen, y'all
Yep.
did it even before she even came out, y'all sat there and played this nice video package to sit here to make us believe.
Yeah, they hyped it up. Yeah.
Even the pre-show, you had the whole pre-show to make it right. And you still sat here and decided to keep on doing it. And then soon you get to the ring, you're like, oh, well, Sasha's not clear to complete. And you're like, wait, hold up. Wait, you just paid this whole video package. Why you played it? Why you just have Bianca just come out? And that's
they
it.
knew it. Yeah, they knew it. When I heard, I think it was Meltzer or somebody like that said it. Yeah, Alvarez said that they knew 9 days ago that Sasha Banks wasn't going to be in the match, and they couldn't have fixed it, advertised it, or put it on SmackDown saying that she's not going to be able to compete.
You could have put it on SmackDown and said, yo, listen, Sasha will not be competing at SummerSlam, but we do have a major replacement. You know what I'm saying? And then the pop for Becky would have been still the same. It would have been still the same. At least, you know, you get away with it where Bianca don't know who her opponent is, but still put up a fight for a good 6 minutes. I'm not saying go in there and do it.
It could have gone a good, like you said, 6 minutes or so. Well, my other question is, because of this, do you think that SummerSlam is supposed to be the biggest thing of the year? And me and you did a show Friday night, and we were cutting off right as CM Punk was coming out on AEW. Do you think that WWE needed a way to retaliate as far as like trying to get the attention off in any kind of way? They had that, and then they had Brock return right at the end of the evening as well.
Well, I fully agree with you that they was trying to react. I mean, I'm not surprised that a company that says that other promotion is not a competition. But you could do things as putting NXT on Wednesday to take away half of their viewers. That's one. And then two, you'll have special events like the Great American Bash that Dusty created, or any other, Halloween Havoc, or war games like that. To sit here and say, well, you're still not the competition. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you just keep on with the nonsense. And then this was like, without a doubt, after CM Punk made his, it was a great moment. Me and you watched it together. We seen it. But the thing is, they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't like any company in the domestic area that is any sort of competition to get over. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm glad that Becky's back. I'm not mad. I'm not whatever, but it could have been done the right way. Brock Lesnar at the end, that was great because that's another story being told because Roman already beat Cena. Who else can he beat next? He's still got Paul Heyman at his side, so Paul Heyman's in that middle now where the story is being told right now. But going forward, I don't know what they're going to do with Becky, truthfully. This probably turned her into a heel, truthfully. I'm just going to be real. It probably turned her into a heel. I mean, they may sit here and try, they may say Bianca probably have an attitude change because of this happening. But no, it really, me looking at it, I don't know about you, but it made Becky look like a heel. For her to stick her thumbs after she beat Bianca and say, oh, yeah, you did a good job, but, I'm here now. I have the strap now. Listen, that's Ultimate Hill, but we'll see when the time comes.
And something I just realized before this, Becky was the Raw Women's Champion when she relinquished the belt, but then she appeared and challenged for the SmackDown title. So it didn't really it makes even less sense now, if you think about it.
Less than. And, dude, it even like for Brock Lesnar is on Raw too, but now he's going against Roman. So it seemed like they're trying to stack SmackDown like really good now, which I don't get because Raw is the drizzling shit. So I mean,
they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything to save Monday Night Raw, like making anything better. Because it's literally for the last year or so, and I've said this many times, I try to watch it probably once a month, maybe, I usually get about a half an hour in, and it's like, listen, I can't take this. And I said it to you. I think I've said it to you numerous times. It's hard to sit through. SmackDown is the better show. It's more action-packed, I guess you could say, and that 2 hours goes by a lot quicker than the 3 hours for Monday Night Raw, because Monday Night Raw, It's just lacking a lot.
Yes, it really is. So it's unfortunate for Bianca for her year run, but she really did
Yeah,
get the Kofi treatment, which is unfortunate. But I mean, we already know how WWE is. You know,
yeah,
they're in a situation now where they're releasing stars and they think it's okay, and then when the other promotion, the pissant company that they was talking about, or the T-shirt company, now they're making waves. Now all of a sudden they want to make waves with them. So we shall see.
yep. The other thing is, oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say. I am looking forward to to Brock and Roman though. That I do have to admit before we get back to NXT, I did pop for Brock because I was like, I thought that I said one of two things was going to happen at the end of the night after Cena loses. Either Big E's going to run out and cash in, or Brock Lesnar is going to come out. And literally, it was when Brock's music hit. I literally like, oh shit,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. No,
so I was like,
listen,
this is awesome. So it was
yeah,
a great moment.
I pop for that because that's a story that's told right there. But we all know, and you can probably take me to the bank with it. Big E's gonna cash in on Lashley. The story's there. He already
Yeah,
beat the hell out of Kofi. So why would he
fact.
not want there and cash on a dude that beat the hell out of his friend? You know what I'm saying? So Big E, I mean, hopefully that will spice up the Raw brand, hopefully. But I
Yeah,
mean, you
they
know,
seriously need it. Yeah.
yeah, they do.
And the second thing, before we get back into NXT, I just want to ask you, what did you think of the uh Lashley Goldberg match?
Um
Be honest. This is an honest platform. I could go all. So my question is, or my answer is before I'll tell you my theory, and then you can give your opinion. My opinion is that the reason they did it that way with the referee stoppage is that Goldberg did not want to lay down or take the count because he's kind of. I think he's kind of known for that. How many times has he actually laid down and willingly and for without cheating or anything like that?
well, we all know that he changed the results of him and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt really was supposed to beat him. So
Yeah. He doesn't
I
like.
mean,
He's yeah,
yeah,
but the guy's
if
50. The guy's almost
I
60. Yeah,
Yeah, you would think, but I mean, the best part of the whole situation was they call him Sunberg. He got the hurt lock on him. So I
right.
mean, that I hope. I mean, I was hoping that happened anyway because you got Goldberg running around talking about "Don't touch my son" and all those stuff. Mind you, two of them never touched his son ever. They just sat
Right.
here and talked to him. So it was bound to happen. That was the best part of the whole match. But Goldberg, I mean, I don't got nothing against Goldberg. Goldberg was the money draw for WCW. He was
Yeah.
one of the stars that WCW made. But he's at the age right now. He almost killed the Undertaker basically. Like you put him in a jackhammer, almost dropped on his head. So like if you can't if you're not safe to put the Undertaker or Bray Wyatt and all these heavy guys in a jackhammer. And back in the day, you was lifting the Giant, you was lifting all these guys in a jackhammer. Obviously, you're not able to perform like you're supposed to. But he had good performances with Dolph Ziggler, but that's Dolph Ziggler, and he's light.
The guy's
So
like a buck. He's like a buck 50. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So so I mean,
he could sell like he's getting hit by a truck. You know?
exactly. So I mean, nothing against Goldberg, but I think Goldberg time. I mean, well, he got like two more matches. Well, now one more match if the match happened with Bobby Lashley again. So I mean,
He's probably gonna do another one, I guess, with the ending of this match. I assume it's gonna be a rematch.
hopefully Lashley beat him, and then it
Yeah.
segue to Goldberg attacking Lashley, and then also and Big E cash in. Love is something to make another star. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he's winning the WWE Championship again. What's the use of him winning? He can't do regular appearances like he's supposed to unless there's more money out of WWE pocket. So I mean,
Do you
especially
realize prior to like right when the pandemic was happening, at one time it was him and Brock that were holding those titles, two part timers basically. Brock was still, he was
look,
making 8 appearances a year, whatever it was. I don't know if it was probably more than that, but you know what I mean.
But it didn't make no sense because, first of all, I'm just gonna go all the way back to the we find all the way back. So basically, Goldberg don't deserve a title shot. He lost to Drew McIntyre in 2 minutes at the Rumble. So why would you come back and ask for another title shot when you just got beat by Drew McIntyre in an easy fashion? You know what I'm saying? So it really didn't make no sense for you to come back and ask for a title shot.
Right. You can come back and just have a match against somebody. He does not need to be in that picture, the title picture, just because he's Goldberg. And they're just using his name. He just, I mean, no offense, but like he's not that guy anymore. It's 22 years later. You know what I mean? Or 22 years later. So
he's in great shape. I'm listening.
For a guy his age, he's in great shape. But like I said, it's a different time period, you know? I don't think like a guy like, unless it's like an MMA fight, if he actually wins the fight, okay, that's a whole other thing. But I don't think it's not marketable at this way for him.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you know what it is. You know what it is.
Yeah, it's all about money. They're just trying to get that money grab for the fans, So, and it's like, I couldn't believe, like, I was at WrestleMania 36, was it? 35. The one in New Jersey the last one before the pandemic started.
I was 35.
35. I was there, and I got up, because that shit was 9 hours long. I got up, I went to the bathroom. Literally, there's a gigantic line. This guy starts talking to me, and he's like, "What are you interested in seeing?" I'm like, "I don't know, like, whatever, And I was like, well, "What about you?" And he was really, and I thought that this was so crazy that, like, the match that he was there for the most was Triple H and Batista. Guys that it was 20 years later, you know what I mean? That kind of a thing. And I was just like, I thought that, it's like, it's not that era, but it's like, okay. I was like, I thought that was weird. I was like, okay, well, whatever.
But
if that's what you're into. Yeah. This guy was way younger. This guy was way younger than me too. That's the part that I found interesting.
Okay.
So
that is weird. That is weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, they know what fan base to grab. I respected they fan base to get. I mean, truthfully, at WrestleMania, I was there too, but the only thing I was interested in was Kofi and Daniel Bryan. So I mean,
it was all about that match, because I mean, the way they built that up, because they weren't really going to have that match, but they had that what was it, Elimination Chamber, that they had that part in where they, and I think that they were so impressed with Kofi, that they had to put him in because it was like one of the most exciting matches, like him and Bryan together. So. And I thought that match was a phenomenal match. I thought it was great. I loved it. And
to me, it was the best match of the night. And truthfully, I was into that match, but I also was into Randy Orton and AJ Styles that night. But their match was way better than AJ Styles' match. So it was like,
AJ's been one of the top performers for 20 years too. That's another thing. Anyways, let's go back to TakeOver.
Let's go back to
I'm glad we got to talk about this stuff, because I didn't do any kind of SummerSlam review, so I'm glad that we got to talk a little bit about it, at least the points that I have to tell you that their production team, NXT's production team, is phenomenal. The video packages that they did tonight really grabbed me and made me interested in matches. And you and I had said earlier today, we're not watching it on the regular. We're not there every Tuesday night. We're just kind of, the takeovers and such. That the video packages are really good at getting you caught up and really selling you on the events. And this match, the $1 Million Championship match, I love Eli Drake or LA Knight and Cameron Grimes. I think that these two are really great wrestlers. I love them both in Impact. And them here, I thought they put on a phenomenal match, and Ted DiBiase getting involved was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, for the old school fan in me, I like, don't laugh, Cameron Grimes' newer $1 Million gear, which pays homage to the older Ted DiBiase gear from the 80s with the rip-off thing. I thought that this was just such a great show, event, excuse me. This is the opening card on the show, and Cameron Grimes is your new $1 Million champion. There's a couple spots that I concerned. You know what I mean? I think they went for one of them landed on the steps outside, and that was a little bit. Oh, LA Knight, and I thought that his back might have been like messed up, but he got up and still went out there.
No, there was a few missteps in this show where I was like afraid for a certain talent, but this opening match was real good. I mean, I enjoyed it, especially the little cameos that Ted DiBiase did, the $1 Million Dream, LA Knight, and like you said, these two has came a long way. You had Cameron Grimes, who was just a regular guy at Impact, who has come in and say straight to the moon. You know what I'm saying? And became a favorite. Even before this situation that happened with the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, he was entertaining with I forgot his name, the guy that paints the pictures that's in a program with old girl that's married.
Dexter Loomis. Dexter
Loomis, yes, I should know his name because he was on Impact as well. But the thing is, you've seen Cameron Grimes come a long way from being on Impact as a regular guy to now where he's a fan favorite and he's showing charisma. You know what I'm saying? Then LA Knight, we already know where he comes from. We already know what he's all about. And this was a good opener for a takeover, especially the kickoff.
I thought so as well. When LA Knight was Eli Drake in Impact, I thought he was one of the best performers that they had there. And then like he just suddenly left. I liked when he popped up in the NWA, but then it was kind of short-lived. And then during the pandemic, while the NWA was pretty much shut down for that time period, when he popped up, I was pretty excited to see him pop up in NXT because I think he's one of those guys that could be a huge star. The guy knows how to work that microphone. You know what I mean? He is one of the greatest talkers in professional wrestling in the modern era. It's just the name change kind of like irked me a little bit because I thought, I don't know, the LA Knight.
I mean, that's the WWE. I mean, it's the WWE. I mean, truthfully, I liked the Eli Drake because he made his brand outside with Eli Drake. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, truthfully, they didn't think so, and I feel like that was the biggest negative when he came back because I was like, he made himself a star outside when y'all released him, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh well, you're back now, so we're gonna just change your name. But I mean, his charisma still branches out, and I just hope bigger things for him. This program was really good for him, but the thing is, I feel like he's better in the upper mid card or even main event situation because he can work that mic and he has the look. Like the guy has the look. So, I love the cameo with Ted DiBiase as well. It seemed like he enjoyed it. Oh man.
DiBiase has popped up a couple times since this $1 Million, and Cameron Grimes because of he got all this money from stocks and stuff like that. So, he became pretty rich and wealthy. Which I think is I find that so bizarre, but it is, and I should have invested myself. But he with Ted DiBiase coming in with this, they've been bringing him in. It's just amazing because it's like somebody that we grew up with. You know what I mean? And he just kind of a lot of times when these old timers, for lack of a better term, come in, sometimes it's cringeworthy, eye rolling. But it's awesome to see him come in as kind of like the manager. DiBiase, also one of the greatest talkers in professional wrestling, and he was one of the greatest performers, like in ring, microphone. It was just so. He's doing such a great job as part of this NXT team.
And then not only that, like Ted DiBiase looked great as well. But the thing is, NXT is using Ted DiBiase the right way instead of like the main roster doing Legends Night and just trotting him out there, or just having some dumb segment where they're going to get buried. They're using Ted DiBiase in a situation, and they're making the whole storyline as a whole look good. And I enjoyed the little cameos that he did with Cameron Grimes, where he goes to the club and Cameron Grimes come in and think that he's supposed to go in and VIP, but Ted DiBiase brought the whole club. You know what I'm saying? That stuff was very entertaining. So I'm glad that they used Ted DiBiase the right way, where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope to see more of him, and I hope to see. I'm just wondering I hope this whole change with NXT, they don't start letting people like Eli Drake go. LA Knight,
Yes.
Cameron Grimes. Because those guys, I think, could be very vital to the main roster once they're brought up. Seriously, especially with LA Knight's mic skills. That we've spoken of. Absolutely. So, this next match, which was the next match? It was the NXT Women's match. The Raquel Gonzalez retained against Dakota Kai. This one was kind of like, it was good, but it was probably the weak. It was probably the weakest match on the card. In personal
yeah,
opinion.
I mean, truly had that Shawn Michaels Diesel feel. The story was there. You kind of expected Gonzalez to turn on Dakota, but obviously they went the other way, where they made Dakota turn on Gonzalez, which I truthfully felt the other way should have been best. But and I mean, if there was any way for Gonzalez to drop the title, it would have been to Dakota. But I guess obviously, which I have heard that she has been doing a few dark matches for the main roster. So maybe the reason why Gonzalez went over basically and took the title is because this situation where she's moving to the main roster, Dakota Kai.
Well, good luck to her. I hope that it happens. The main roster needs some freshening up.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. There was a return at the match. I'm trying to remember who returned at the end. I'm drawing a huge blank here.
I'm sorry to blank too, but I think she's from NXT UK.
Yeah. Oh, I got it right here. It is whatchamacallit. Hang on, I got it here. Maybe not. Hang on. Just bear with me 1 second, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Kaylee Ray. All right. Yeah, sorry. I drew a huge blank as to what her name was, but she has been out for quite some time, so she came back tonight. So, and
at least we cover ourselves. We told the
yeah,
audience that we have not been watching NXT for a while. We only watched the Takeover, so forgive us.
Honestly, to be honest with you, it's like I've said this a million times. Like WWE, I don't tune into a lot of the product, but the pay-per-views I feel like are worth tuning into. Because the TV is just pretty, it's usually that third one of the month that's supposed to be selling you on that pay-per-view. The next pay-per-view that's probably the best one. I don't want to tune in to just see something subpar. I mean, I hate to say it, but
I mean, it was. I mean, before the competition with AEW, I mean, it was better because it was only 1 hour. You sit there and watch it, and then you do all the storylines right off the bat. Because I used to watch NXT every week, an hour.
When it was 1 hour and it was on the network, I had no problem tuning in 8 o'clock every Wednesday, right? Yeah, no problem. It was awesome because it was just like, okay, 9 o'clock, I'm done. I can watch whatever's on next. But it just like this. They moved to network TV. Once you start moving to network TV, there's investors, there's advertisers, there's all this stuff, and you have to start adhering to them. If you're not doing big business, good numbers, they're going to change.
Exactly.
Obviously, we see that happening right now. So the pay-per-views, I tend to traditionally just watch the pay-per-views as of late and not sit around and watch all the TV. When it comes to AEW, I watch most of the television. I can't say everything. Every week I'm not sitting in front of the television on Wednesdays. But if somebody calls me up and says, "Hey, you got to watch this," you know what I mean? My buddy is always telling me, "Hey, you really need to see this one. This happened. Something happened." And it's just like, okay, I'll sit there and watch that. So, yeah. But I at least make more of an attempt because it's a different show. It's a different product. Sometimes they go in weird directions that Cornette goes off on, or which I tend to agree. Like 98% of the time with him.
You know what? Sometimes I think it's a work too because just to keep the viewers entertained because sometimes he be going crazy on something certain stuff. I'm like, Cornette can watch.
Yeah. Well, I get what you're saying. Sometimes I know somebody said they think that he says a lot for shock value, but I'm just like, he can't be. I don't know. He's traditionally an old school guy, and I understand why he doesn't like some things that people do. Like, I don't know. Are you a fan of the Young Bucks? Did we discuss this before?
I watch the Young Bucks. I can't say I'm a fan, but the thing is, they know how to work. I can't sit here and deny that they don't know how to work. And I
Right.
hear Cornette talk junk about the Young Bucks and Omega. They know how to work. They just be fucking around. They know how to work.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Omega can't work. I think that guy is more than capable of putting on a fantastic match. I think
Hmm.
it's the things that Cornette hates is the things like him wrestling a 9-year-old girl or a blow up doll, which I completely 100% understand. You know,
Absolutely,
yeah, because it's
absolutely.
just like
Yeah,
that stuff is. But I mean, that was also however many years ago in a Japanese promotion that's known for stuff like that.
yeah. But the thing is, like, you want to give the guy grief, but you can't sit here and deny that he didn't have all these good matches to Okada. You know what I'm saying? Those Okada
Phenomenal.
matches were
Yeah,
good. I really sat there and watched these matches. I was like, this is unbelievable. This is like the new Ricky Steamboat, Ric Flair type classic. So, I
yeah,
mean, can't deny the
and
talent.
he won't sit there and watch that because of the other stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just his opinion. All right,
Yeah,
so
no, I respect his opinion.
yeah, and I've been a huge fan of his as well.
No,
Um,
dude, I love him. I love him. It's just,
yeah,
like you can't. I mean, before we go into the next segment, it's just like, like you can't complain about it when you had a Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express. They were doing stuff different and nobody liked either. I
yeah.
loved it, but some people complained about their
And
stuff. It's
back
well,
in 1984, 1985, around that time period, it was different for that time period. You know what I mean? So
thank you.
yeah, yeah. The NXT, this match right here is probably my favorite match of the entire evening. And
Yes.
I knew going in, it was going to be the best match of the evening. Walter and Dragunov, new
Yes.
NXT UK champion. Holy shit. Uh, I was talking to a
This
buddy of
was
mine
a
during this
this was a
match.
stiff match. I knew you were gonna
Whole,
say sorry, but this was a stiff match right
Walter is a deadly wrestler. Like, I
here.
swear every time I watch him wrestle somebody, he's about to kill somebody with one of his chops or what have you.
Yeah.
Uh, I actually today was or earlier during the match I was talking to a buddy of mine where I compared him to Carl Gotch. He's just very old school. The only thing he doesn't have is the mustache. So, but
Yes.
he would sit out there and just grapple you and kick the shit out of you in a like pure straight wrestling match. Uh,
Hmm.
there was some, yeah, man. This is just I can't say anything bad about this match. It was my favorite match.
I mean, last year. I mean, going into this match, they did have a match of the year candidate for last year when there was
Yep.
no fans around, and that was legit. That made Shawn Michaels talk and be amazed about a match like that. So
Right.
I knew coming in that this match was going to be real good, real physical, and as you see, Dragunov coming out the match, he was not without a spot on him. He had a spot on him, and it showed that he was in a war.
He had some blood on his
Yeah.
shoulders and stuff like that, which a lot of times WWE does not, they don't like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is it? When Cesaro split his head open a couple months back, they ended the match immediately. This they just kept
Exactly.
going. I was just like, this match you cannot end because it's just too freaking good. You know what I
It's
mean?
too good.
And I'm wondering what's going to happen with Walter now. Is he gonna come back like and go after that
I
title
mean,
again?
he should be a candidate for. He should be a candidate for what we gonna see talk about later on for Samoa Joe. I mean,
Yeah,
why not? I mean, who else besides Karrion Cross that's going to the main roster should be facing Samoa Joe next? Which I am looking forward to Walter versus Samoa Joe. That will be a real stiff match
damn,
and a good.
wow. That one right there. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. But the next match was the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. It was three falls. That's 2 out of 3, and each match had a different stipulation. First one was a street fight. No, I'm sorry. First was traditional. Second street fight. Third steel cage match. What did you think of their first match against each other? Was that the last man standing match that they wrestled each other? Takeover probably a few months back.
I think it was last man standing match, or either I think it was a traditional, but they was letting it go a little bit. But I thought their match was good. I thought it was a little bit too long. That's what a lot of people said that as well. Like it was real long. Where it's supposed to. It was like the Edge Randy Orton match from the WrestleMania with no fans.
Took up almost
Like
an
it should
hour.
have been a little
Yeah.
bit shorter.
So, yeah. This match, I mean, that match rather, the first match against each other, I was really looking forward to,
Mhm.
and it didn't deliver the way that it probably should have, in my personal
Yeah.
opinion. Because I thought that these two, like Adam Cole, is a fucking star. Okay, he
Absolutely.
is. I don't know whatever's happening with him because there's so many rumors that he's jumping ship. Whether it's not actually been confirmed, but it seems like for the last year or so they've been priming him to go to the main roster and become that key player on the main roster. I really expected that match to just be like a phenomenal, like a barn burner, and it was pretty good. It wasn't great.
Yeah,
It wasn't that barn burner, but it was like kind of just. A lot of people loved it. Maybe I'm just too opinionated sometimes when it comes to this match. I actually enjoyed more, and I like the outcome because it's something that I didn't necessarily expect either.
Yeah, it was real good. All the falls was good. I like the traditional match and then segue to the street fight match, which it looked like they had nothing left, but they did.
Right.
They went right into the cage match, and the closing of the cage match, the finish was brilliant. Like he handcuffed him,
Yeah.
he beat him, and then he caught him in that last ditch effort and made him tap out. That was really good. I enjoyed every bit of it.
So Adam Cole, excuse me, Kyle O'Reilly won 2 falls to 1.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first fall I thought just kind of came. It sort of came out of nowhere, and I didn't actually expect it to happen at that very second, which was kind of like shocking.
Which I like that. It's
Yeah.
always good to have that little shock factor where you
Right.
like, damn, you really thought this, but he got him.
Right.
You guys show that real life effect to it.
And it seemed like during the street fight that he kind of looked like he kind of could have messed up his spine a lot on that, especially in that last bump before he took the fall. Because I didn't know if it was legit or if it was part of the booking, and I wasn't sure if he was actually going to be able to continue because the way they were talking, the way that it seemed. But then it was all right once they started wrestling again. And the steel cage part I thought was really good. It was a very creative submission, I thought. That was very well. And then I'm just looking forward to see what is happening with these two gentlemen going forward, especially Adam Cole, whether he's leaving or whether he's going to be involved in another storyline or going to the main roster.
So what I can say, Adam Cole, it was a great send off, and it was a great match where like he had a great send off for NXT as we close out NXT in a minute, where we say what it means for the next chapter going forward. But it was a great send off for him. If he's going to the other promotion or whether he's going to main roster or whatever, hopefully if he go to the main roster, they'll do something great with him. But if you ask me, I don't have no faith at all after the history of all the NXT call ups. And I look at it with open mind. I look at it with open mind all the time. The thing is they have done a lot of stuff where they try to kill their own. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But
is it me or is Kevin Owens the only one that they've really pushed to the moon from the NXT roster that came from NXT? It seems that way.
Whatever NXT that you want to pick, because they'll say that they pushed Roman Reigns, which was from NXT.
All right.
Yeah, they'll say that. The thing is, I'm talking about the crop that where Triple H really revamped the whole brand.
Yeah.
I have not sat and try to push anybody at all. Finn Balor was a star. You had Bayley was a star. Sasha was a star. She's a star now, but the thing is, look what happened, what took her to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? They had her in Limbo too. So
you can really vouch for the entire Shield actually went out there and became stars at one point. You know what I mean? So they all won titles, and were on top of the company at one point or another. So yeah, I guess it just seems like the history, the majority is that a lot of them kind of just end up in dwindling in the mid card, I guess, after a while. And I just think that they really need to rethink what they're doing with Keith Lee, because that guy's a really great. That guy's a great talent.
Yeah, he is. But the thing is, you do have to be safe with the situation that he had and why he was out. And I understand because like you don't want to put all the chips in the basket with him, and then all of a
Right.
sudden he gets or anything happen with him. So I fully understand what they're doing with him right now. I kind of feel like they shouldn't have just put him on TV like that, just to be like, "Bam, we're just gonna have your job out." You know what I'm saying? They should just
Yeah.
test him out, and they got a whole performance center. Just test him out, see how you're gonna go, and then then re-debut him again. But obviously they thought different and just want to test him out by having squash matches with him getting beat. So
Yeah.
that's WWE.
It's WWE. Yeah, it's just we know how they work after years, 40 years of watching them.
Yes.
We do have a new NXT champion. This match really surprised me. The result of this match. I did not expect to see Samoa Joe win the belt
Yeah.
at all. No, because my guess was, Joe's not getting any younger. I actually did not think. I thought it was going to be one of those things where they're just going to use it to elevate Killer Cross a little bit more, Karrion Cross. But he's
Oh, okay.
made a few. He's made a few main roster appearances, and he's on his way up there. So I guess I'm just thinking that why Samoa Joe to be the one that beat him though? That's the only thing. That's the part that I mean, the guy's a legend. Let's not, it's. I don't want to put him in the same category as like say Bill Goldberg because he's obviously like a good 10 or 15 years younger than Goldberg as far as like coming back and winning a belt. It's just I found it just a weird booking choice. Have him
you got to
win
take
the
it.
title.
No, I understand. You got to take it as this, where he may be a transitional champion. He may not be that guy that holds the title.
Yeah,
And
that's true. That's true too.
Karrion Cross is going to the main roster. He can't hold on to that belt forever. So I feel like going forward with the change, Samoa Joe was the biggest candidate because Johnny Gargano, I don't think he want to go to the main roster either, or you don't know what they're gonna do with him or Tommaso Ciampa.
Also,
It's just
Ciampa has let it known that he does not want to go to the main roster. That he
yeah,
does not want that schedule. He wants to stay in NXT because I think he just likes the style down there. He prefers that.
mm-hmm.
He had like 4 or 5 matches up there that during that Survivor Series time period a couple years back, and he said he
Yeah,
went back and said he didn't want to go back. So I mean, Gargano could be in the same boat as far as we know.
yeah, because but the thing is, going forward, where they want to, NXT is on USA now, so basically, they want to improve it to make it valuable, just like just like SmackDown and Raw. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they want to make the same brand with the yellow. They got the red,
Yep.
blue, and then the yellow. So now it's probably just going to be the same product. Well, I mean, hopefully Triple H got some type of hands in the pot where he can make it a little bit different. But the way the news is, the way the rumor mill is, I mean, you just never know.
So they want to basically make it like it is a third brand, but they want to make it more accessible, or more like the other two. So they're probably going to and make those stars. So they'll probably they might bring in other guys from both shows to try to mix it up a little bit, while at the same time trying to create those big stars with the guys that they have. So that they're bringing in. Excuse me, that they bring in. So I don't know. Only time will tell. So we're gonna have to see. It's very interesting. Overall, I really did enjoy the pay-per-view. It's the first time that I've said that in a very long time. So as far as like, because I think the last time, I think it was like a 6-way main event, and it was just really super choreographed, and you can just see it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, holy shit! Like watching this, it's just. It was just so obvious. Everything was just like planned out into a T. It just, but it was kind of almost flawless. You know, the only match that was like kind of subpar was the women's match, and it's weird because it's like I think NXT has like a phenomenal women's division, so that's why it was like somewhat disappointing this match, but it could just be this match. Who knows? But what
Yeah,
else
I
you
mean,
got?
yeah, I mean, Takeover was like a to me, it was like a 3 match show. You had
Pretty
the
much. Yeah.
NXT UK show, the UK Championship, and then you had the Adam Cole match, and then not only that, capped it off with the Samoa Joe match with Karrion Kross. But you know, when they closed out, they said, you know, this was the final chapter of the NXT that we love. So basically, going forward, this was probably the final takeover. You know, they never know whether they want to do another takeover or not. So,
Well, they're
you know,
going to
only
do
thing on
something.
has been
Yeah, they got to do something, whether it be some sort of pay-per-views, but they're probably going to be branded as far as, you know, like, there's the SummerSlams, the Mania, stuff like that. You know, maybe they'll just do away with the whole Takeover series, but you get what I'm saying. They'll have, like, some sort of branding on them and promotional tools and all this other crap to go forward to try to make them bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I enjoyed the takeover. It was real good. All the takeovers never disappoint every time I watch it. So, you know, they're the bread and butter of the NXT brand.
Absolutely. So, anyways, you have something coming up. You were just announced recently this week. Shut Up and Wrestle. You'll be taking part of the heavyweight championship tournament.
Yeah, they announced it the other day as I'm the first participant in it. So, you know, I'm trying to branch out to do other things as well, and hopefully get some gold around my waist once again somewhere.
Some really good names have been announced. Big Jim has been announced. Yusuf, 2 or 3 others I can't think of offhand. I'm actually going to drive up to that because it's about an hour and a half away from me. So I'm going to drive up to that. Talk to my buddy today, and we're taking the trip.
Oh, I appreciate the trip. I'll see you up. You know, I'm always good to see you. I'm always good to see you at the show. So, you know,
Yeah.
I got a heavy. I don't know how many times I'll be wrestling that night. You know, I win the championship. I don't know if it's a 1 night tournament or what. I don't know what's going on, but I'll be
Depends on the
priming and ready.
brackets. Yeah, I'm ready because this is going to be my first Shut Up and Wrestle show because you know, there's a lot of people that talk about them, and they seem like they're really fun shows. So.
No, they've been doing the same thing as like having the shows, and I guess it was like Kevin Landry's gym or something like that. So what they announced was they have like a new building. So yeah, Shove and Wrestle. They contacted me. They said, "Do you want to be a part of the tournament?" I said, "Absolutely, why not?" So I see some competition in there, and hopefully going forward, I win something. You know what it is.
And do not forget this coming Saturday, Rumble in Paradise. So,
Yes,
Paradise
Rumble.
Valley. I'm going to be talking about that every day this week. I'm going to don't get bored with it, everybody.
Yeah, you know, it's the biggest event to date for PAPW, and I mean, truthfully, I'm glad you're going to be a part of it, and obviously, I'm in the Rumble. You know, I'm just glad that this is a very big deal for Paradise Alley Professional Wrestling, Fight TV. You know, Fight TV that holds shows like the NWA and AEW and all these other promotions now.
New Japan.
And so
Yeah. So yeah, it's a big deal. You guys are a part of it. It's $9.99 for the pay-per-view. If you can't make it, mask is required if you can. Tickets still on sale. ParadiseAlleyProWrestling.com. So did I say masks? You need a mask if you're gonna be there in public because Connecticut's getting a little crazy again with the COVID. So been a little spike.
Yep. So masks is required. So please, because JCC is really aggressive about the mask policy. If you don't have the mask, they will shut down the whole show. We really don't want that. We really want to have the whole show without nobody saying shut the show down. So please bring your mask, respect the policy, and enjoy the show. This is a don't miss show. Rick tells you all the time, if I'm not here, he tells you that Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling is the promotion to watch. And
Absolutely.
you know, it's a big debut, and hopefully we gain more fan base, just like the PWZ podcast.
Thank you. And we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Absolutely. You all be safe.